that will help you get more calls. When you're patient, when you're more human, and you're present and persistent, you will get more sales calls because people will see that you care about them and you're going to be there when they need a solution. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to warmly invite you to a free learning event I'm hosting with Joey Ragona. He is the founder of Strategic Business Coaching. He is a clarity master, and he's going to teach us some skills on how to find and get an audience ready to buy. If you're a coach, a therapist, or just somebody who's a mission-driven creator, and you feel stuck or you're not sure who you are talking to, hey, this webinar is from you, for you. It's not from you, it's for you. And it's happening March 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And you're going to walk away with just some real clarity and a plan that you can use to connect and start conversations with the people who would love to buy something from you. So go to the show notes for this episode. And this is episode 106. Go to the show notes for episode 106 and you'll find the link there. Also, it'll be on the homepage of coursecreationstudio.com, or actually it's courses.coursecreationstudio.com. I'm in the process of changing over some web page stuff. So it's courses.coursecreationstudio.com. There'll be a pop-up banner that will get you right to that webinar. You're going to love it. Joey's great. He'll cut through. If you're struggling with how to talk to your ideal client, the message you need to start sharing, Joey's going to give you some great ideas. So join that webinar. I've learned so much from him. I just want you to experience some of what I've had by listening to him and get some clarity on who your ideal customer is. Hello, friend, and welcome back to the Scaling Therapy Practice. This is your host, James Marland. Today, we're going to be talking about the important question of how do you get people onto calls? Often when you're selling a high-ticket item, it's not going to be a social media post that gets people to buy. It's not going to be your lead magnet. It's not even going to be your web page or even your podcast. It's going to be something like a call. We're going to cover three main points. The first one is be patient. The second point is be a person. And the third one is be present and persistent. All right, so we're going to jump right in. First, be patient. Every customer is on their own individual journey. You are selling to individuals. You are selling to people on their own journey. And they might be looking to buy, but you have to have the right offer at the right time to the right person. So if somebody just comes into your universe, downloads a lead magnet, or gets onto a conversation with you, either through email or through social media, and you jump right to an offer the first time you meet them, there's going to be immediate skepticism because they don't know you. They fill in the blanks of the unknown with skepticism. When somebody reaches out to me that I don't know, it's the first time that I have talked to them, and they send me paragraphs and paragraphs of what they can do for me, how they can improve my SEO, how they can improve my YouTube channels. I get pitched a lot of services. I am immediately skeptical. They don't know me. They don't know the journey I am on. They don't know what services I'm already using. They don't know what problems I'm having. They're just pitching me their own solution. Well, don't be that person. Leading with sales right off the bat, leading what you can get from them, is a big turnoff. And it's more focused on what they can get from you. So don't do that. It's like have you ever gone to a furniture store that does commission sales, or an electronic store that's commission sales? And when you enter in, you're immediately swarmed like ants to sugar, and they try to figure out what you want and if they can sell that to you. And when you're like, oh, I'm just looking, or I'm just walking around, they drop you. Like, they're moving on to the next person because they can't get anything from you. Don't be that person. Don't be patient. Every customer's on a journey. People are looking to buy, but they have to be ready to buy. I've got a little story about that. Last night I came home and I found a ceiling tile dropped down in the basement, and it was wet, and the floor underneath was wet, and there was a drip, 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 drip from a pipe up in the ceiling. 2 days ago, I was not looking for a plumber. I didn't have a plumbing problem, but I now do have a plumbing problem. Who am I going to This is my journey now. I have a plumbing journey. Who am I going to reach out to? Who am I going to connect? Well, it's the plumber that invited me to their 10 year, it was like a 5 year or 10-year anniversary in business party. I didn't go to the party, but I got like multiple invites to their celebration party. Then I get text every once in a while. Hey, what services do you need? Are you having any issues? They're in contact with me. They're patient with me. They're not calling me and trying to sell me services. They're just offering services and letting me know they're there. They're patient. They're going to get my business because they're not demanding. They treat me right, and they understand that I am on a journey, and when the time is ready, I will buy from them. So, be patient. Every customer is on a journey. The second one is how to get people onto calls is just be a person. Be more human. Every customer wants to feel important. And what this means is you're often going to start with affinity. Like, what do you when you start your conversation with them, how are you connecting? Are you connecting over parenting? Are you connecting over kids? Are you connecting over vacation spots? Are you connecting over location? There's one coach that I I was listening to his stuff and I was like, "Oh, this is good." But you know when I really tuned in is when he mentioned he loved Doctor Who. I'm like, "Oh, I like Doctor Who. Maybe this guy's okay." So it kind of like cued me in. It wasn't His stuff was good. The utility of his items was very good. But what made me more excited about listening to him was I was like him. We had some similar interests. And so when you're trying to get people on calls, what is important to them? Where do you overlap? Where do you have interests that are more human? Because when you connect as a human, it takes less time to build that know, like, and trust factor. People aren't going to buy if they don't know you, like you, or trust you. So if you have things that overlap, those are things when you're in the relationship development part of these conversations that you focus on. And in this world of AI and automatic responses, um, being a human is going to make you stand out. I was talking to somebody on LinkedIn and I connected with them. And when I connected with them, I got an immediate response back. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. And then I responded to them, and the next response was like almost immediate, and it was going down a sales pitch line, but it was supposed to look like a human. I'm like, oh no, I thought I was talking with a person, and it really kind of tuned me out a little bit on like uh, I wish I was important enough that you would actually text me. That's, autoresponders are not bad. In fact, I wish I could use them a little bit more. I don't use them, but I can see their value in getting some responses to people right away. But man, just treat me like a human. I think no one does this better than my friend Joey from Atlas. I met him at a webinar where he provided just amazing value with his presentation. And then I followed up with him, and uh, I emailed him a couple times, but I never really bought anything with him. But he consistently emailed me every few weeks to a few months, just asking me how I'm doing. He remembered the problems that we talked about, and he asked, "How you doing?" Um, he gave, he kept giving more and more advice and more answering questions. And then when I was ready to buy, when I had the right amount of time, the right amount of money, and the right problem that he could solve, I bought one of his products, and I happily did it, and I happily spent more than I had ever spent on a coaching product up until that time, because he cared about me. He was more human. He's just very excited about helping people build their businesses and build their lives, ar build their businesses around their lives, not the other way around. Don't build your life around your business. And, he's just foundational for just his courses, and his style is just foundational for how I view sales now. So, but that wouldn't have happened if he would have just sent me automated emails and wouldn't respond and wouldn't remember who I was and talked about things that were important to me. He was more human. He wasn't an AI chatbot. So be more human. The first two items was be patient. Everybody's on a journey. The second item is be a person, like be more human. Everybody wants to feel important. And the third item is just be persistent, or be present and persistent. Every customer will need a solution. So this means know your audience, know the problem that you can solve, have a menu of items that you can sell to people, whether they're coaching items or products or courses that solve people's problems. And and you're confident that they solve them, and you can deliver on your promise. And when it's time, just ask people for a conversation. I struggle with this sometimes. Like I give a lot of free value out, but I struggle to ask people for just, hey, do you want to get on a call with me and talk about your problems? And just, you got to ask. You have to ask, you know, y- uh, would you like to talk about this? What would you like to get on a call and get get more information? You're not pushy. You've already established that you're human. You're patient. You just ask. You just got to be persistent and ask. You also have to be present. If the example above, Joey was more human with me, but he also was persistent. He kept me on his list. He kept talking, and every few weeks to a few months, he would just say, "Hey, I'm offering a new program. Is now a good time for you?" And I kept him on my list because first, he offered an excellent value with his presentation. I could see he could solve the problem. Second was he treated me like a human, and then third, he was just persistent. Like he's confident that he could solve the problem. He knew the promise that he could deliver, and he kept offering it. So be persistent, be present, offer value over and over again, and keep reaching out. Don't be afraid to ask for that call. See, people love to buy. Like I love to buy things, but they hate to be sold to. That's a quote. It's a famous quote. I don't know who said it, but people love to buy, but they hate to be sold to. You are serving people. Remember, in these high ticket items, you are solving their problem. So you're serving them. And when the offer is right and they are in the right place and they know and like you and trust you, they're going to buy because they love to have their problem solved. Every customer needs a solution. I think one of the things that might stop us from reaching out is the stories we tell ourselves, the stories that are in our head that are true. They're true to us because we've told them over and over again, and they become part of our beliefs. They might have served us at one point. Like these stories that we tell us, they serve us by protecting us or keeping us out of danger or making good decisions. But at some point, some of these stories that we hold on to as true aren't true anymore. They're not serving us anymore. And they might be painful, painful stories that are holding us into our comfort zone. I remember one of my stories that I have a positive story and a negative story. The negative story is that was holding me back is that when I was, seventh, eighth grade, I had a solo in a song, for choir, and there was an audience filled with parents, and we put on a presentation. It was one of those normal junior high, high school musical type presentations, and I had a solo in it. And we were singing our songs, and I reversed a line or missed a line, and I felt like everybody knew, and it was just really, really difficult. So what I did is I just walked off the stage. I walked off the stage and hid in the music room because I felt like a failure. And my music teacher came in and was like, why did you walk away?" She didn't even realize, to me, the mistake was huge and bad and terrible. And she was confused, like, why did I even walk off the stage? But the story I told in my head is, getting up on stage is difficult, or getting up on stage, if you get up on stage, bad things can happen. If you call attention to yourself, if you try to stand out, bad things can happen to you. And that that story kind of stuck in my head, where through work, through school, at church, don't show off, don't don't try to show attention to yourself. Let other people take the stage and the light, because if you get up on stage, bad things can happen. If you draw attention to yourself, bad things can happen. And that might have protected me for a short amount of time, but later on, let's say when I'm trying to sell something, when I'm trying to say, "Hey, you need this product or I can solve your problem," you do have to stand out. You do have to get up on stage and give it a shot. And that belief that getting up on stage and drawing attention to yourself is dangerous is not serving me now. So I can honor that belief. I can um, celebrate that I had that story and that belief for a time, but now I can let go of that belief. I am not I'm not the the boy on stage anymore that's afraid to stand out. In fact, I need to replace that with a new story, and a new belief. But recognize that you might have a belief in your head, a belief that you're a story that you're telling yourself, or an experience that you experienced over and over again, that helped you for a time. The belief helped you for a time, but it's not going to serve you going forward. It's actually going to chain you to your comfort zone, or chain you to your old beliefs, get you old actions. You need new beliefs, new stories for new actions. So yeah, that was sort of the main point here is be persistent and patient, or be present and persistent. And there might be a story that keeps you, the story and a belief in your head that keeps you from being present and persistent. So try to examine those stories, see what beliefs you have, celebrate them, but you might have to retire some of those beliefs to get to some new behaviors. All right, so this is a, how do you get more people onto calls? It's more of like behavior, internal behavior. These aren't tactics per se. I'm not telling you how to do lead magnets or email posts or um, webinars, or just different things like that. But these are tactics that these are beliefs and internal behaviors that you can do that will help you get more calls. When you're patient, when you're more human, and you're present and persistent, you will get more sales calls, because people will see that you care about them and you're going to be there when they need a solution. Thanks for listening to the show. In the next few weeks, I am going to be releasing a new web page with a new lead magnet, and I want your opinion. What do you think of the new web page? Is it connecting? Does this deliver the right message that you need? Help you solve your problems? Go check it out, coursecreationstudio.com, and you can email me, james@coursecreationstudio.com, to let me know what you think about it, and if you have any questions about what we offer. I'm also going to be doing a new gift or free tool. It's 15 ways to package up your experience to earn extra money, and it's really a way to develop and brainstorm how you can turn your experience into products that people will actually want to buy. I'm really excited about it. It's a great resource to have to get the juices flowing, see if some of these items can help you. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. It's now time to go put your mission in motion.